We've got an update on the next Helldivers 2 patch, and yeah, this is the update. So Evil Boss is one of the devs over on Discord, says, we're still cooking, and this is in response to a question that says, I was surprised there wasn't a patch. They've been pretty consistent at fixing something. Now, this is, of course, because generally, or typically since the game has launched, on a Tuesday, they would patch the game. However, that did not happen this week, and it still hasn't happened as of the recording of this video, so it is Wednesday now, so a day later. We don't know where this patch is, but I think the good news is this might be a big patch. And also, we've had this massive debate about new content coming to the game, bug fixes, you know, what do we prefer, what do we want? It doesn't really matter that patches don't come out on the same day. I mean, to be honest, yeah, it's great a patch comes out on the same day so everyone can get sort of used to when new updates are coming out or new balance changes. But at the end of the day, I just want things to work, so I don't care. The devs should just take as long as they need to get things out. And yeah, I mean, you can speculate off the back of this and say, well, maybe there's going to be some massive patch and there's going to be like crazy new mission types, new weapons, all of this stuff. But I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if it was just straight up a balance patch or even just something which fixes crashes. You know, honestly, that is what they need to be working on. And yeah, I'll take anything we get. So that's the update on the update, which we haven't got at the moment, but I'll keep you updated. Right then, let's talk about the major order, because we're going to lose this, and that's not really a problem. But take a look at this. If the division in the community isn't clear, then I don't know what is. Now, I did say before I press... Well, I'm just going to do it now. I did say that the bug front would be where most of the Helldivers would go, because Helldivers just like killing the bugs. It is that Starship Troopers vibe. It is that fantasy, and honestly, it is great to kill bugs. And also, you can maybe say bugs are a bit easier. Well, it's not when you get swamped by the bugs, and you could argue that the bugs' heavier units like the Charger and the Biotitan are actually a bit harder to kill than the Automatons, whereas the Automaton just sort of general like chaff enemies are mega strong. Has anybody actually had some fun with the shield devastators recently? Yeah, they're very accurate and they absolutely mow you down. But anyway, look at the mirroring sector. 75,000 Helldivers, 10,000 in the Strahd sector, and none in the Sten sector. And then we come over here and we see the Hydra sector. You can see all of the ground here that the Automatons have actually taken back. So they've got the Hydra sector, we're in there, but we've only got 18,000 Helldivers. We've got 5,000 in Andromeda sector, and you can see it's just going to... Obviously, there'll be none there. We've got 2,000 here, and we've got 12,000 there. Now, the problem has always been with the bot front. Players don't really go together on one planet. It looks like they kind of are here to some degree. It looks like most players are generally on Verdun Wells, which is actually getting close to liberation, it does look like. So that should get liberated very soon, and that'll take us up to 7 planets liberated. But there's only 1 day left of this major order, and I cannot see this actually being a success. So, yeah, this is a defense campaign which is active. I don't know, but I don't think it really matters anyway, guys. Whichever way this goes, it's going to be fun to see what the devs do, because they can kind of do either or. Now the Automatons have actually pushed back here. They may go quiet for a little bit, and then we get a massive bug explosion. Or they may go the other direction and go, well, actually, because we've hammered the bugs, then they stay quiet, and there's an even bigger Automaton push, and the major order is to definitely fight those back. Anyway, it's going to be super cool, and I'm going to take it. I'm here for it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Why is Joel getting so much hate as well? This I can't understand. Look at this comment. Stop being pussies and go fight the Automatons. We are losing literally everything on the Automaton front. Or maybe it's just Joel. In that case, fuck you, Joel. I mean, that's a bit harsh. And then this other user just says Joel isn't real, but then the dev comes in and says, I'll forward this message to Joel. I can just imagine him sitting there like, oh, look, goody. Another awesome message from the player base. So let's stick with Evil Boss. Now, I think he's having a bit of fun here. So this user says, can we go sledding down big hills in winter planets? This has actually been a thing a lot of devs are passionate about. I'm sure it is. He then goes on to elaborate. Higher surfaces to dive off, nice looking hills to roll down after a great dive, a helmet that lets you deal damage by diving into enemies, drivable forklifts, and a ton of gameplay surrounding them. Will most likely cut a lot of existing to put the focus on the game of forklifts. What? Cat ear helmets, pizza cake for devs, more fire. Of course, we need more fire because fire, obviously, you know, isn't at all broken in the game at the moment. Yeah, I love this kind of stuff, honestly, guys. When devs are just having fun and you get to see it publicly, I think it's great. And I think Evil Boss might have been involved in some of the very early dev drama. If I'm wrong, I do apologize, but there was we'll just go for early dev drama in general, where there was this sort of potential that the devs would stop interacting with the community. I don't want them to do that because I think it's great and it gives us this sort of, you know, we get to see behind the curtain. You know, I say this over and over again in tons of videos, but it does. It really gets you sort of into their mindset, and you can see sort of, you know, you get a feeling for the way they are, and I think that's really cool. And this is cool. Just have fun. You know, just do it. That's what life's all about. Let's go and take a look at some IGN clickbait, because this is actually quite funny, because this got me thinking, and I'm going to use this as a sort of platform to launch into a what could be scenario. So they wrote this article, Helldiver 2 players hate Hellmeyer so much they just want to blow it up. Now, when they say players, it's just one comment from Reddit, but whatever, who cares? But this gives me the idea, right? Blow planets up. I mean, Hellmeyer, okay, the reason why Hellmeyer is so annoying is you've got the flame fire tornadoes, and because fire damage does a ton of damage at the moment, I'm expecting this will get nerfed in whenever the next patch comes. But they just kill you, and they generally spawn when you're waiting for Pelican 1, or if you're on like some super hard difficulty and you're trying to get back to the ship and you die, you lose all your samples. It doesn't feel great because you literally cannot get away from these tornadoes. They burn the whole area. The area stays on fire for quite a while. They are super frustrating. So I can understand players getting kind of a bit miffed with that. But here's the idea: blow up planets. Do you think the devs have been working on this? Do you think they've actually got some stuff about this? I bet they have, you know. So this kind of makes me think, games like Stylosa, now I love that game, and you can crack planets and blow them up in that. So that's from a Swedish dev. So Helldivers is a Swedish dev, so let's blow planets up. That's where I'm going with this. No, but honestly, guys, imagine the narrative direction they can go for if they allow planets to be destroyed. Imagine if there was like a campaign on a planet where you had to complete a bunch of objectives, maybe like a certain amount of liberation's got to be reached, and then the mission types change on the planet, and then they keep changing, and then maybe the final mission is almost like to drill down to the core and place like, well, drill down into the crust, let's say, because we basically got to think of a mission type that every player can do. So you can't just have one sort of Hail Mary, drill down to the core, detonate a massive device, and it blows the planet up. Instead, you'd have to go for, we needed like 100,000 of these devices planted in the planet's crust. When that happens, the planet explodes, so everyone gets to experience that. That would be really cool, right? Can you imagine that? Like, you know, it starts off with general liberation, then it goes into some form of like maybe holding the planet, and then some form of like defense missions around facilities that are getting built, which are drilling into the planet, and then the final mission is you go down into the planet, you know, the bugs or the automatons or whatever enemy is trying to stop you, and then you're fighting for the sort of like, almost you are on a Helldive mission where you're not going to survive. It's you just got to keep the nuclear weapon or the fusion bomb or whatever protected while it detonates, and when it detonates, then it causes a certain amount of damage to the planet. I think this would be really cool. This would be actually really cool, because nothing really stops them adding new planets as well. You can remove a planet from the galactic map and just add another one where it existed, because it's the galaxy. It's absolutely massive. There are hundreds of millions and millions of stars and planets, so you could just add one, right? You could also blow a planet up and then have the fragments of the planet playable. There's just literally endless. You know what? I would absolutely love to be a fly on the wall inside the game design sort of meetings and committee meetings or whatever the hell goes on at Arrowhead, because it must be so good. It must be, because you can just literally come in and like, guys, I've got this idea, it's insane, and then maybe we can implement it. Honestly, it would be amazing. This is some incredible artwork. There is a link in the video description below to all of the sources in this video, as there is on all my videos, so go and check that out. But this, I love this, right? So it's a Helldiver slapping another Helldiver. Why did you pick up my their shared slap? Yeah, this is absolutely bloody annoying. I cannot believe that people still don't understand this. Samples and super credits and medals and requisition are all shared to every Helldiver. It doesn't matter who loots it. Yeah, if you've been running around the map and you've collected 30 samples and then you die and someone else picks up your samples, that's fine. Do not kill them. I have been killed quite a few times. I think okay, I think I've been killed about 5 or 6 times for this, right? Which I suppose is quite a few times, where I pick somebody's samples up and they kill me. What the hell is going on? I can understand to some degree if you pick up their weapons. That is a big no-no, you know? And maybe there's a video in that, like the unwritten rules of Helldivers. You should not pick up somebody else's weapons, especially if it's their support weapons. If you pick them up, you are disgusting as a Helldiver. Unless they give them to you. Don't loot that. Right, that is bad. But samples, I mean, come on. Everyone knows they're shared now. They must do, right? But anyway, this is cool artwork. There's also a bit of discussion going on around what kind of player are you when you die? Do you spam the hell out of spacebar if you're playing on PC or whatever the hell the button is on consoles? But well, on console, I guess it's only on PS5 at the moment. And then you got the little jingling, jingling, reinforce me. Or do you just sit there and accept that your squad are going to sort it out? What kind of player are you? Well, I mean, I'm sort of the player that I'll wait a little bit and then I'll press it once and then I'll wait a little bit more and then I'll press it again. I won't spam it because I'm not an idiot. Now, the other thing here is when you've got the whole thing with stratagem blockers, right? And I'm sure higher level players understand what they do. Maybe some don't, but lower level players, I can see why they might get frustrated. So if you're in the vicinity of a stratagem blocker, which is on automaton missions only, it means you cannot use stratagems, which means you cannot use the reinforced stratagem, which means if you're dead, your team cannot reinforce you unless they run away from the position. Now, my advice would be, unless you can get within range to blow up the stratagem jammer, either with like a 500 kilogram bomb or get in there and disable the terminal, you should just run away as far as you can until you can actually use the reinforcement, because it's always going to be more of a benefit to have an extra player on your team. Yeah, so I guess that's a bit of a PSA. The other thing with dying as well, this again is sort of like one of those unwritten Helldiver rules. If someone dies, try and reinforce them on their corpse, because you'll see the direction of where they die, because you'll see the little skull icon. Unless it's like in the middle of enemies and they've got no possible chance of ever getting their stuff back. Because you want your stuff back. The first thing you do when you respawn is try and get your stuff back. It's very unlikely that you're going to have your support weapons ready to go. You'll have your other stratagems maybe. But if you've got like the autocannon, it's got like a 5+ minute cooldown on it. You're not going to have that ready again. So you need to go and find it. So don't reinforce miles away. And it is literally the worst thing ever when you split up on like big missions, like, I don't know, like launch the ICBM mission. Any kind of 40-minute mission. And the guys on the other side of the map reinforce you, but you're on the other side and you got to run back. It's so annoying. Try and reinforce when, on the corpse of the person that's died. Obviously, if they've died on their own miles away and there's no possible way of you getting there, then just reinforce them, whatever. But still, I think that's just sort of good manners. Alright guys, thank you for watching today's video. If you did enjoy this, then let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And yeah, like the video because it helps a ton, honestly, guys. And you've been giving me some crazy support recently as well, which is awesome. And yeah, I'm still waiting for this update to come and whatever new stuff is going to hit Helldivers, because we've totally failed the major order. It's all over. It's game over. The major order is done. What is Joel going to do next? I guess we're going to find out in about 24 hours. Catch you guys in the next one. See you soon.